Aveiro is a city right on Europe's last coastal marshland. It's the largest and most incredibly biodiverse wetland in Europe, and in 1687 the same engineers that built the dams to keep water out of Amsterdam came to Aveiro to bring the water in. I'm Andrew Dubber. I'm director of MTF Labs, a global community of brilliant artists and scientists who come together to address societal challenges through creative experimentation. Now, we've run 20 events worldwide, the last couple of which were in Aveiro, and it really seems to fit there. Now remember, this is a city that's been completely engulfed by the ocean twice. It's right at the front line of climate change. So what does that mean for a culture, for heritage, arts, innovation? I wanted to really understand this place and its people, the real people of Aveiro.
Are the birds a problem?
As aves, os flamingos,
Yeah.
destroem tudo.
Uh-huh.
Destroem. Eles comem com as patas, levantam o terreno e com o bico fazem buracos.
Flamingos are a pest.
Não tenha dúvidas, não tenha dúvidas.
Wow.
Somos aí 5 ou 6 marnotes na totalidade. Quando nós acabarmos, quando deixarmos de funcionar, o salgado vai acabar. Não há ninguém que queira vir trabalhar para isto.
It would be really amazing to have the idea that there's a museum of the saltpans in Aveiro or training for a next generation to be able to carry on this tradition, because it's such an integral part of the city. And it kind of feels like seeing the last of it die out is like seeing a species disappear.
Antes era as salinas, que há poucas salinas atualmente. Meus pais não podiam pôr a estudar, puseram-me a trabalhar logo aos 12 anos. E neste momento gosto daquilo que faço. Já devia estar sossegado, né? Mas gosto de estar aqui assim, conversar e fazer o meu trabalho. O meu clube é o Beira-Mar.
It's a traditional, artisanal, homemade thing, and it's like a glass of toothpaste mixed with vodka, but it's very delicious.
Já estou cá em Portugal há 17 anos. Eu trabalho aqui, essa parte que é a Casa do Chá, e faz parte do Museu Arte Nova de Aveiro.
Sou aveirense desde os 18 anos, tenho um blog que se chama A Certeza da Música há 13, organizo concertos na cidade, organizo mostras de cinema, sou DJ e, porque temos que sobreviver, trabalho como assistente operacional nas escolas desta vida. Aveiro é uma cidade com enorme potencial, mas precisa sair da casca.
Os ovos moles foram criados aqui em Aveiro pelas freiras do Convento de Jesus, que na altura tinham muitos ovos e precisavam das claras para engomar os hábitos, as toalhas, os chapéus, e sobravam as gemas. Então arranjaram a receita dos ovos moles e começaram a utilizar a massa como um medicamento. Can you taste it?
I can try.
Yes.
Thank you. My God, that's sweet. Wow, I can actually feel my blood sugar rising.
A enguia faz parte da cultura de Aveiro. E quem vier a Aveiro não comer a caldeirada de enguias não é Aveiro.
Enguia, mais gula.
Sal de Aveiro.
Sal de Aveiro. Segredo não se deve dizer. O segredo é o amor e gostar de fazer.
As pessoas fazem promessas e vão ao topo da capela para tirar as cavacas para as pessoas que estão cá em baixo, representar o pão que o São Gonçalinho atirava para essas pessoas mais pobres e mais carenciadas.
That sort of thing that makes a culture of a place, because people gather around the story and it becomes part of just what people do. And when you try to explain it to an outsider, it sounds like nonsense, but it's really part of life. Forgot to make a promise.
Sendo mordomo uma vez, mordomo para sempre.
And this boat have the solar panels, and it's autonomous. It's better than a Tesla, okay? And this you don't need the grid, okay?
You just need the sun.
Yes, just the sun, just there.
Normally that's up there.
Yes.
Yeah, the technology that uses these solar panels just to make absolutely zero impact on the environment is kind of needed, because the environment has been quite heavily impacted, and I think this place is paying a lot of the price of that. Sort of the first line of damage when the sea rises, because that's where it's going to happen first. So I've just been having a look around the factory of the where they make the porcelain here in Aveiro at Vista Alegre, and the museum of the porcelain factory as well. And it's this very traditional thing here. 200 years ago this was built, and the people who owned it came to the realization that if they wanted people to come and work here, they needed to build essentially a place for them to live, a church for them to go to, and this theatre, which is absolutely beautiful. But I really love this sort of foresighted thought of you need to have culture in a place in order to bring the industry. Tell me you got that.
Yes, of course.
Filhos e amigos da Guiné-Bissau. Sons and friends to Guiné-Bissau. We try developing our dancing, our culture in this place. Essa cidade foi fantástico para nós, foi 5 estrelas para nós. Ajudou-nos a nós, as nossas mães, as nossas crianças. E neste momento não podemos esquecer de transmitir às nossas crianças as nossas raízes.
The sound is fine. Yeah? Yeah, life is, like John Peel said, life has surface noise. It's so funny to see stuff that I just haven't seen in 30 years or more.
Há muitos talentos em Aveiro em todas as áreas, da pintura, da escultura, da música também o há. Precisa de haver espaços para as bandas ensaiarem e venha rápido, já bem tarde.
Na verdade precisamos essencialmente de salas de espetáculos para acolher os artistas aveirenses e não só, e para que possamos apresentar da melhor forma e com as melhores condições aquilo que criamos.
Aveiro precisa de um centro de criação artística e de estímulos para que essa criação saia fora de portas e se torne independente.
Comecei aqui com 5 anos como bailarina, a dançar neste palco, e agora estou a trabalhar cá na comunicação, onde posso também fazer fotografia, que é uma coisa que eu gosto muito, e que realmente trabalhar aqui é um privilégio porque posso fotografar coisas que não poderia de outra maneira.
So we drove out for about half an hour to meet the sculptor Paulo Neves, and I was wondering why someone of that stature would live so far out of the way and in such a remote place. And as soon as I see his work, of course, it becomes really obvious. It's just so connected to where we are and the feel of the place and the trees that surround us.
Eu adoro a Ria de Aveiro, adoro o mar. Eu acho que sem isso o meu trabalho seria muito diferente. Por aqui, pelo meu ateliê, passam todos os anos vários artistas, jovens artistas que vêm fazer um estágio comigo e todos eles adoram esta região. Ficam encantados e voltam sempre.
Existe aquela frase que diz: podemos tirar a pessoa do lugar, mas não tiramos o lugar da pessoa. Independentemente do sítio que escolhemos para viver ou para trabalhar, a nossa terra é a nossa terra.
This is some classic music tech. Like, I would visit a place and just see this, and that would be cool. But it's one thing in these hundreds and hundreds of equally amazing things. This is like that final scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where they stack all the boxes and you never know where things are hidden. It just goes on and on and on. I think the thing that people don't really think about now, because this is really obviously the combination of culture and technology, but what I have in my pocket, my phone, is the same thing, but it's just a shame that it's not furniture like this amazing piece over here. I love the radio as furniture. There's not enough of those in houses anymore. I'd love an iPhone that size.
That's our makerspace, where we mix together culture and the maker movement and STEAM skills.
Yeah.
So it's a makerspace dedicated to all people, but focus on teenagers.
So it's self-directed learning?
Self-directed learning.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything that we have in nature is represented inside the periodic table.
Okay.
All the universities in the periodic table.
I am worried that you actually have some radioactive material in there. Is it radium?
No, it's empty.
Oh, good.
So we need to have science inside the culture. It's very important, and that's what we work here in our science center and in our university.
Sou estudante em mestrado em performance em viola d'arco e durante o ano passado tive o privilégio de estar na Associação Académica da Universidade de Aveiro, o que me permitiu cruzar com estudantes de outros países, de outras nacionalidades, e isso para mim, culturalmente, é muito importante.
O Gratua, o Grupo Experimental de Teatro da Universidade de Aveiro, é evidentemente um local de criação, não só na área do teatro, mas de outras disciplinas artísticas. A mim parece-me óbvio que a verdadeira missão será recuperar aquilo que são os mais velhos e realizar aquilo que são os mais jovens.
It's nice to take a step back, well, actually 300 steps to be absolutely accurate, and see it from above and get some perspective on it, because it's really quite beautiful. It's amazing to think that something so vast as the Atlantic can rise the amount that it would need to rise to cover the land there. But that's what's going to happen, unless we do something about it pretty quickly.
So I've been thinking, what's really clear is that faced with some of these huge challenges like the loss of local cultural heritage and traditional industries or the global impact of climate change, as individuals, it's really overwhelming. These are things that have to be tackled at an enormous scale. But it seems pretty obvious that the answer here isn't to give up, and it's so clear that's not what's happening here. It's about connecting all of the small things that we can do, the things that matter to us. When these diverse perspectives and unique talents all come together in one place and you join the dots, you get resilience, you make a difference. And then that impact can occur not just locally, but at a global scale. That's what works here. That, to me, is Aveiro.